to spell out the word thanks. We're going to think about the deeper meaning of what we get to do, what we're privileged to do in practice together. We're starting today with a special blend that everyone in our classroom had a chance in person to try, and it's called Peace. But I'm going to show us the Peace Mudra so that we can all practice it together at the beginning and at the end. It begins like this. I open my palm and I place the thumb in the center. And then I wrap the fingers around. And at this flat part of the knuckles, I bring the other 4 fingers, and I am able to let the free thumb come to the tip of the index finger. And this is called Shankha Mudra. It is the mudra that represents peace in its energy and its deep meaning. But what I hope you notice is that it is in the shape of a heart. So my heart is pointing towards you, your heart is pointing in return, and we are opening to each other. Let's make sure we know it. So if you'll open your hand and switch, here comes the thumb to the other palm. I'm going to wrap my fingers around. I'm going to bring the other 4 fingers across. This thumb is free to point to the index finger, and you can see the shape of the heart that points to everyone else. Bring your heart to your heart. So nice to see you all here. And drop your gaze, bring your attention inward, and just feel how you've landed. The energy around you, the energy between us, especially when we point our mind to something specific, a word called peace, a mudra called peace, a Thanksgiving practice. The essence and the goal of yoga is awareness. And to begin our practice, now that we've acknowledged, let us raise our gaze, raise our arms, and open. So our T in our thanks is for together. We get to do something together. Let the light shine from the center of your palm, center of your heart, center of your core, and then begin to shake. And though you may decide to continue sitting, shake in any way. You can shake your legs, you can jump around. I invite you to try it standing. So if it is comfortable to you, why would we even start this in conventional way? So in a trauma-informed sense, we want to think that if we release tension or stuck energy, we can shift energy and we can raise and shift awareness. And so now back to your starting position. We get to do together. H is for heart. And as you practice your heart mudra, we're going to this opening of the front body, all heart openers. If you will, send the arms ahead and come to your feet. Just notice the sensation of finding it above. Right? And so let's try it in the chair in a slightly different way. Let us use it to inform our standing. You'll slide all the way back. And for anyone at home who doesn't want to come up out of the chair, it is okay. It'll still work. As you inhale and open and lift, you might be able to take in that beautiful aromatherapy. And then as you exhale, remember the lesson of the prop, the support behind your heart. Exhale, come on through, and keeping the tailbone lengthening down, open in the upper rib cage. Remember the chair. Exhale, come and sit. And it's not necessarily that we want to use momentum. It is more that we want to strengthen the range, the transition. So let your body tell your feet where to be, and inhale and open. Let's try that one last time. Heart openers, everything that asks us to open the front of our body includes this concept, this change of energy that falls into the category of heart openers. We can keep this place. Those of you in the chair, come and sit more forward. But we're going to take the arms behind us, and we're still warming up, and so we have a similar shape. Just the lines of energy are different. Lift your gaze. Anchor the inner heels and the big toe mound with the arches of the feet, and then keep focusing on the lift. You'll find most of it in the front leg. Right. So as you take the arms wide, whether you're sitting or standing, we're going to practice with awareness the 3 shoulder stretches we've been using in Life Fit all year. This one is the T. This one is the Y. And this one is the W. So now we're going to adjust with the chair. I'm going to invite you to take the chair and put it, if you are using the length of your mat, put it to the side so that it turns away. You'll have it there in case you want it. And to join the folks on the screen, I am going to use mine this way and follow this mat. And so I'm inviting you to turn sideways that you can step your feet wide and stay in the sticky mat. And as you turn your feet somewhat out and have a slightly wide pose, bending your knees. The chair is there if you wish. And you could do all of this sitting, but check out lifting the toes and spreading them wide. So our T, our Y, and our W, we've incorporated into every class. Here comes our Y. And then here comes our W in goddess pose. Yes, imagine a resistance. Rest your toes, lift one heel. We've done these 3 positions. Take the arms wide, here comes your T. Drop the heel and lift the other. We're just doing something that strengthens the core in a functional way to adjust against all movement. And return to the Y. Exhale, come upright, drop into your W. So we've done these 3 shapes with great awareness. Down to the Y, up to the W. Down to the Y, up to the W. And from here, we're going to take the arms wide, turn one foot out, the other one in, and lengthen to the side. We're going to practice all the things in our warm-up that the spine can do so that we get to do it well. And we're going to come to our Y. Here it is in a sideways position so that we are like a star. We get to just shine from the midsection out. Inhale, come upright, and revolve the feet. Here it comes to the other side. We are in our T. We're going to lengthen and shift and stay long through the side body, and then we're going to find. Here comes that Y. It's just in a different place. So it raises our awareness, helps us to understand ourselves better in different shapes, in different places, and how we gain strength, resilience, and come upright. While you're here, bend in that front knee and return to your W. Chair is there if you need it, but we're going to practice a little bit of a twist. So I want to rotate in the upper body so I get to point over the front knee. Here comes that warrior 1, and then I'm going to turn back to the side so that I have a warrior 2, and we're still warming up. We're just going through all the movements of the spine. Exhale and turn. We'll build on this later. Inhale, come unwinding, and as you do it this last time, I want you to go back to your T. Send the arms ahead so they point over the front knee. Come into a hip hinge. Come upright with shoulder retraction. And return to center. We'll do all of that on the other side, so as you revolve your feet. Here we go. Bending in that front knee. Returning to that W. Got it. We're in a warrior 2. And we're turning into our warrior 1. And then inhaling to come back. So what I want you to notice as you move with the breath, exhaling to come into this rotation, inhaling to come back, is that your feet are anchored. They give you stability, but your core tells you about it. As you exhale next, open the arms and send them forward. Continue the exhale and fold. Inhale, come upright with shoulder retraction. Take back your T, return back to center, and we are ready to rest our hands and walk the feet in and begin to So whether you stand with your feet together or your feet hip width apart for a little bit more stability, let's go back to the Y. And we'll make it more of an I. I want to come into a side bend, not important how far you go. And we'll build on this too. We're about to finish our warm-up. But I want to think about how I've traveled to one side, and I'm going to ask more of the side bend in my body. I'm going to hold the wrist. And it is not about coming further, it's about creating length and space. So that A in thanks, that awareness building, the attention, comes in as the foundation of our practice, the essence, inhale, come upright, and the end goal. So that we begin to apply how we use our attention off our mat. As you ground the legs, stay in your back body, create length and space, enjoy where you are, connected to your strength. Inhale, come upright. And again, if you will, just shake it out, right? So if there's any overdoing, this is a way to recalibrate, right? We're moving on. We're gonna rest our hands here at the back of the chair and just step our feet wide and turn one foot out as we have been in our warrior two. But today, I want you to notice the transition between warrior two and warrior one. So if you'll walk your feet a little bit wider, give yourself a challenge. If this is too much for anyone, I'd like to offer that almost everything we could do in the chair, that you could manage it just from here, your warrior two. All right? And so, as you are with the chair, turned toward the chair and challenging yourself to this wider pose, staying with the chair, lift the back heel and pivot so that you square the pelvis and you turn all the toes over the front. And then take your time and return. And why would we do these things? It is to really strengthen the foundation of our body. So come on again. Chair's there to help you get used to it. You might not need it, so if you know yourself you don't need it, again, this is your challenge. And then take the other arm high and continue on. Here comes that pivot. Right? So while you're here, the chair is underneath your hands as you need. We're going to work on that back knee, strengthening the foundation of the lower body. We're going to bend the back knee, straighten the back leg, reach into the heel, even though it's not on the floor. This doesn't agree with anyone. Using the chair version is wonderful. And it is not important how far you go, because everyone will get to their own place, being true to yourself. All right? As we work, revolving feet, turning the other foot out, bending in that knee, turning the back foot slightly in, the foundation of warrior two. And again, we're going to point our attention to the back heel. I'm going to pick up the back heel, pivot off that foot, and just notice the freedom to do any or all of that. And as you continue in this upright position, focusing on how the back leg allows you this transition as in charge of it. Take care of yourself. Here comes that top arm, the outside arm. And as you turn, let's think about what we anticipated on the second side and what we can ask for that is more. My arm that's reaching lifts the ribcage. The arm that's pushing also lifts the ribcage. And I can begin to focus on back knee with any amount of bend. So I like to think that there are as many levels of ability as there are people. And so giving options gives us opportunities to just find our place in our practice together. Come back to center, walk the feet in. Then, if you'll turn so that you face forward. And I'm going to join the folks on the screen. I'm going to turn my chair to the side. It's in the middle of the mat. And it gives me an opportunity to have it underneath my hands if needed. And so at first, we're going to use it. We're going to work on the outside leg, the leg that's furthest away from the chair. And I'm going to take this big giant step to the front. And then I'm going to take it back. And it's not important how far you go, but today we're going to say it's important how high the knee comes. So I want to lift the knee and think about the range, how the hip, the knee, and the ankle get to participate. Then back. So let's play with that now that we've kind of ironed out our space. I can take the arm high, that belongs to this back leg. And as I step forward, the higher I reach, the greater the step I might take. If I take the arm ahead now and I lean in, it's going to counterbalance where I'm going. So I want to really reach, bear into the front leg, and then keep leaning in as I well back. So here we go. The top arm reaching to support a greater step, right? We're just working on range of movement, connecting it to functional strength. And then leaning in, especially as we step back. So I like doing things in threes. We keep refining our awareness. And if you find yourself that you are comfortable letting go of the chair, this is your practice, then lift the knee. Take this big giant step. Notice mine got smaller. And then use what you can, your reach, your understanding, your strength, and come on upright. Heart opening. Turn your wide palm back. Open. Take the arms behind you. That similar shape. Straighten the front knee. Keep your gaze lifted. Give your attention to what's in front, what's ahead. The joy that it brings, the anticipation. Bending in the front knee and straightening the front leg. We're going to go between these two places. They're very simple. But if we don't look down and we keep looking up, it is a refinement of our balancing skills. Our nervous system has to pay more attention to what our feet are giving us feedback. So it's a wonderful way to sneak in being ready in the world. Let's try that one more time. It's not important how far you go. We're going to come back to this and change it up in just a little bit. Send the arms to your teeth. Bend in the front knee, bring everything to the center. Let's do the other side. So I am going to simply move my chair. You are welcome to turn around. We're going to start with the same idea. I want to rest my hand, focus on that outside leg, take this big giant step, and then back. Nice. The arm is going to help us. It's more about how high. And then we can challenge ourselves to how far back, right? Yes. Now let's try it that way one more time. Yes. And then everybody take their choice. They would like to let go of the chair. Take your time. Use your movement with breath. Lean in like you lean into life. And then come back into your W this time. As you lift your gaze and draw your elbows back, that front knee is bent. Take the arms behind you. Keep your gaze lifted. Reach the arms down and back and straighten the front leg. And as you bend the front knee and straighten the front leg in this heart opening position, just begin to notice how any movement that we would do in the shapes that we practice together, how they're very comprehensive. We can say this is a heart opener, but we are involving every part of our body, and we are especially involving our mind. Very nice. Take the arms back to your teeth. Bend in the front knee. Everything comes to center. So if you will now, place your fingers and turn the palms down. Yes. And as you get there, step your feet a little bit wide. Keep the feet turned out slightly. bend in the knees and drop your body weight in the amount. And then notice that you made room for your hands, but can we make room for our shoulders? Can we keep this intention of heart opening? All right, so I just wanted to introduce, this is the shape, but we're gonna make it wider. Straighten the legs, relax. And if you find that placing your fingers is just not comfortable, you can just set your hands one on over the other. But think about the pattern that you had before, and can you switch to make it so that the other thumb is on top? So we are ready to explore the space that we give to our hands and our shoulders, and come on down. Before we give this away, we're going to send the arms forward and just really think about how this invites cat pose into our body. And while we keep our gaze down, we're going to lift the arms. Again, this can be done sitting. And as we keep our gaze somewhat down, we're going to straighten the legs and take the arms wide, reaching into the heels of the hands, lengthening the underside of the arms and firming the legs. We're back with our star position. And slowly release, shake out any of that. So I'd like for us to go back to that goddess pose. I'm gonna recommend that we turn sideways and use the width of our mat to go wider. And I'm going to, again, join the folks on the screen so we get to stay together. So we worked on this a little bit in our warm-up, and I'd like to think we're building a little bit of heat. And so here we go. We're going to turn one foot out, bend in the front knee, take our warrior two, we'll come back to goddess pose, but we're going to lengthen this time and find that perhaps some of the movement that we've done together gave us a little bit more freedom. And maybe we can wiggle the back leg further. And when we straighten the front leg and go back to that Y in our star shape this way, very nice. The bottom hand could come to the side of the chair. And the top hand could go behind us. Just bear with me. Keep turning, turning the upper body, not the lower body. Yeah, so we don't get stuck in the lower back, drawing the kneecaps up and continuing to shift the weight. Very nice. Take that back hand, make it the top arm again, and we're going to use it from the front. So this ideal to keep opening the front of the body can come from arms here. So if I get to push, pull, there might be a little bit more energy in that triangle pose. I might get to really shift the pelvis back. And we surprise ourselves. We just change the leverage pattern. Bend in the front. Take that bottom arm out, reach with it well ahead. And keep using the top hand at the chair to push and turn and feel that you can change anything, especially your attention, and something opens to you. Inhale, come upright. Place your hands back at the chair. Turn your feet out, bending your knees. Before I invited us to lift the toes to feel what that is like. And this time, as you rest your toes, I'm inviting you to lift one or both heels and then rock them. So as we continue in our Life Fit classes to work more on our foundation, how does working with the feet create mobility, agility, not just in the ankles, feet, lower quadrants, but through the spine and the rib cage? And how does that help us to feel more freedom of movement and not just physically, right? How we move in this world. Straighten the legs, we'll come back to that. Turn the feet to the other side. Bend in the front knee. Here comes arms wide in that T, and we're going to lengthen. And being here helps us to understand, can I ask for more? Can I challenge myself to take the back leg further? Very nice. Straighten the front leg. Take the top arm to its wide position. Keep shifting toward the back heel. Keep radiating from your center. Very nice. Right? And so N is for nice. Think about words that we pin our mind to that just help us just relax our nervous system. Inhale, come bottom hand to the side of the chair, top hand behind you, and find a little bit of rotation, a little bit of action. And you're welcome to come out of this any time. Make this your pose. Draw the kneecaps up, Move the legs. Focus on where your gaze is allowing you to shift. Take that back hand back to its reach above. Bring it to the front and use it to push down into the top of the chair. And then give your mind's eye to the push-pull of your hands. How do you add a little bit more action, strengthening of the twisting actions of the body? Very nice. Exhale, firm the legs. Inhale, bend in the front knee. Take the arms back to your star shape. Continue the inhale, come up right to your T. And make it so that your feet come wide. As you rest your fingers this time, lift your toes and spread them wide. Bend the knees and just feel. Is there a little bit more freedom to tap into a lower place? And can we take one arm up? Can we use the other hand to push slightly forward? Right, and pushing into the seat of the chair. And then I'm just going to switch. I'm going to switch which hand is pushing and which hand is reaching. Quite often in our practice, we want to find this balance between pushing and pulling, pushing and reaching, so that we begin to strengthen opposing angles, lines of energy, muscles that work together. This time we're going to pull. So if you pull towards you, the chair will tip very easily. That tells you that the action is really small. Can we still lift one heel without bobbing up and down, and drop it down, and then lift the other heel? So here comes the sneaky part now. The chair is there to reassure your nervous system. Can you bring your hands to push one into each other and lift one heel? The chair is underneath your hands if you need it. But just doing something a little differently, what is the trade-off, right? The core engagement, the leg strengthening. Switch which hand is pushing and which is pulling. And then again, last time, lifting one heel and then the other. Creating some space and strength through it. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, walk your feet in. And if you wish, shake the legs out. Yes, very nice. We're going to keep the chair where it is, and we're going to turn to the side. And this time, we're going to work on the inside leg. We're going to try warrior three with a little bit of variation. I want to rest my hand and come into a fold, simple enough. Take that inside leg back behind. Take the opposite arm ahead. So that's where I'm going right now, but let's pare it down. Let's drop the back foot and prop it. Let's focus on squaring our shoulders and head and really reach. If we would come and go only to this place, we would have all the actions of warrior three. It doesn't have to be extreme. As you bend in the front knee, similar to what we did before, can we go well back because we're reaching well forward? And as we come upright in our warrior one, can the hand at the chair be used to push? Here comes the pushing side. Here comes the reaching side. We can lift our gaze, we can lengthen the tailbone down, we can keep building our awareness to this balance of actions that helps us feel that we are ready. Nice one. The strength of our body feels good in all the places so that we can just relax and move forward in the world. Come to your fold. Think about you in your space. Lift the back heel, straighten the front leg, notice where you are, and decide if you want to lift that back leg. So if that is the case, this is your practice. We're going to play with this in yet another way, so hang in there with me, because there's always the way to add different, there's always the way to make the work greater, and there's always the way to pare it down and make it unique to your needs. Bend in the standing knee, step well back, send the arms up. We keep returning to this place of warrior one. And then we're going to do it one more time, but we're going to back away. So I want to step away. And when I do, just to get to the same place, my arm is at its reach. So let's start there, please. We're going to slide our hands together, reaching forward. And we're going to start with that pared down position, propping the foot up behind us. And if we did nothing more, remember this is our Warrior 3 set of actions, we can lift the back leg, but the wonderful surprise is that we can slide the hands along the back of the chair and give ourselves the opportunity to ask for more or different. We'll stay one more breath. Bend in the standing knee, aim well back. Take the arms high. And then we're going to do a fluid movement. If I were to gather, bend down, reach up, imagine what can fall around you that you are asking for. Maybe it's something like grace, right? What would you want to shower you? And then step your feet together. I am simply going to turn around to do the other side, okay? And so if you'll join me, just to turn around. And I'm standing right here in the center. The idea is a little bit of a fold. The inside leg is going to prop behind. The outside arm is reaching ahead. And here comes the actions of Warrior 3. And if you'll find any or all of those options, just feel how this side is. Bend in the standing knee, step the back leg well back. Here comes that Warrior 1 that we keep coming back to and noticing what is the residue of the next shape on this place. Yeah? Let's try it again. Want to rest the hand here, straighten the front leg, and maybe I'm going to pare it down. Maybe this is my place the second go around. But this is your practice, so here we go. Be kind to yourself, no overdoing. And that is our kid. When asked, what is your religion? The Dalai Lama said, kindness. Step the back leg well back. Here comes this beautiful place. And this time, instead, we're going to gather. So instead, we're going to pull toward us. What are you gathering in your mind, in your life, in your practices? How does this connect to movement that you know? Picking up a small child, gathering flowers, working in the garden, or just simply what I do every morning, pick up the house, you know. Things back where they go. Step your feet together, step away, please. Give yourself the challenge, come into this fold. You have the opportunity to grow into it. Here comes that back leg. This would be just fine, just to stay right here, and then lifting the back leg and sliding any amount. Looks likely ahead. Use your breath and exhale and step back to open and feel. Okay? As you bring your hands back behind you, as you step your feet together, keep this shape that we keep coming back to yet again. We know this shape from the floor as well. It's called Shalabhasana, and it gives us a chance to balance at the front of the body as we use the strength and come into our back body. So all these things we notice. And release. Beautiful. So we're going to use our block. We're going to return to the chair. We're going to add a strap. And all of those things are optional. I'm moving my chair to the back end of my mat. And the block is going to my hands. So here we go. You have this block. And you could use a pillow. You could use a book. It doesn't matter. But we're going to return with a different load. Here we go. And we're going to scoot to the side and take one leg either out to the side. And if you find that you can do different, or that you can do more, then we're going to take it right here underneath and behind us. And we did something similar in our warm-up from standing. We did some dips, right? And so when we did, we bent our back knee, we ended up in a position that looked like this. So I'm bearing into my leg and using my hamstrings and my glutes. It's an option. This is the other option, right? So I'm going to take the arms high and create a squeeze. And I'm going to come into this fold. At first, we're going to come upright into shoulder retraction and then slide into this fold shoulder protraction. What our shoulders wear as far as emotion, we want to create some freedom and resilience. The next time we move into shoulder protractions, light squeeze, we're going to swing the arms down into the side so I have a slight fold, and then back to center. So I'm leaning in, I'm leaning in. One more time. Beautiful, so we get to work the side body as well. Next, we're going to come to center, think about the leg that was behind. And as we put the block down, this leg has some options. I can park it at the block. I can park it at my knee, right? There's more. And for those of you who've got some longer limbs, or if you have the mobility and you know yourself in this figure 4, and this is your preference, there are options. I'm not moving or forcing where my knee is, but I'm strengthening this whole relationship and keeping it kind, right? Bear in, resist, sit tall. Use the other hand to reach through, catch the outer edge of the foot, and so you're drawing back and keeps the foot from sickling, and it just gives us a chance to refine this engagement, this strengthening, this release of the outer line. So far we started with T for together, and H for heart openers, A for awareness, and all things nice that have to do with Thanksgiving. And then some, right, in life in general, things that we welcome to us and they settle upon our quieting of the nervous system, help us relax in the world, be who we are. K is for kindness, they go hand in hand. Right. And I'll let you in on the S, we already practiced it. It is that Shankha Mudra, that heart-shaped mudra in your hand that represents and is the energy of peace. Right, lovely. Let's go ahead and do the other leg because we're going to come back and add a little layer. So the option was to keep it kind on the body by using the block. To add a little bit more by bringing the ankle to the knee. To decide if your place in it is a greater range. Want to add a little bit of load. Want to reach through and draw back. So anything we want to invite resilience or a strengthening to, we want to notice in ourselves how can we create the optimum opportunity for strengthening and forgiving. Right? How do I work from that place that I am supported to rise up into the world? That helps us all to understand that we are part of a support system. It goes both ways. Right, so we're going to come back to this. We're going to add on. I want to slide to the other side. One sitting bone in the chair. I can place the leg out to the side. Okay? And take that leg back behind. And the foot underneath me looks like this. I am after some 90-degree angles. So this sneaky work where we add a little bit of load using the block, the amount of squeeze is up to you. And we're going to fold and unfold. If for the folks on the screen, what that looks like is this. Folding and unfolding. So I'm hip hinging, and I am working the shoulder girdle at the same time. The next time we come into this fold, we're going to keep our place, and we're going to just simply swing to the sides, swing the arms, and come back to center. What I hope you feel is the shift in the center of your core, right? These core muscles that hold us upright as we're human beings moving through this world, they're constantly adjusting to what our limbs are doing and what our intention is and how we're moving. Our feet tell them. Our feet here are pushing. Very nice. Come upright. And sit. Bring your hands together or to holding this block, and just notice where I am. It's not exactly symmetrical. We're all working on it. And I want to rotate and rotate back. Looking good, everyone. All right. And somewhere in that, you may discover that there's a little bit of a challenge, and that's okay. Slow it down and work on you. But this is also a part of a mudra, this really beautiful mudra that typically we do without the block. I've just added a layer that we point to ourselves and to others, right? Similar to that Shankha mudra, that heart. But this particular mudra reminds us of the importance of community, that we are in this world together. I like using it. It is important to me. And I think it's important to all of us to feel that connection. All right, so now here we go. Whether you park your leg at the block or not, we're returning to this position. And I want to add a little bit of resistance, but this is more about bringing the upper body to the leg and then bringing the leg to the upper body. So we can change how we do something and take it all in with great awareness. As you inhale, come upright. So if bringing the weight of the leg upright is not comfortable, then bringing yourself to the leg is the same effect. By chance, if you are here, I'm inviting us to bring that knee toward the midline and then back to center. And maybe you'll find a little bit more freedom, right? Freedom of movement. So this borrows from cradle pose, this wonderful feeling of holding new life, right? Supporting, relax. Let's do all of that on the other side, whether you wanted to use the block or not. Now you know yourself. Add a little bit of load at first, resist the hand to the leg and come into any amount of hold. Feel how it is different on the side. Then inhale and come upright. You can keep that. The other choice for just right now is bringing the leg to you, right? Any amount of that. And some folks really know this and they'll hug that knee and they'll pull it all in. This is your practice. But we're inviting the knee toward the midline to just tug away at a little bit more tightness and work back. I'm trying to get my arms to support the movement, trying to keep my spine still so the arms and the leg get to go through the movement. Very nice, and release. So we have a twist. We're going to use our block again, and we're going to have a really sneaky reset for the pelvis using the strap and the block. So I'm using the block and turning to the side. And as you turn to the side, you look like this. And remember, the block is optional. You could use a pillow. You can use a small wall, anything would work if you wish. But I want to really think that my knees and my toes are square. Then if you'll go back to your Y, get really long. Lift the rib cage, turn, and find the back of the chair. Keeping a light lift through the elbows. Notice the lift at the heart center. And what we put into play before, one hand pushes and the other one pulls. Legs are grounded. feel our core strength. And the block gives us a little bit of a load. It adds a little bit more strengthening to what is involved. As you inhale, keep length. As you exhale, slide the back hand to the seat of the chair and create a little bit of a push. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but it might give you a chance to change the leverage and take the load off the spine. And we can add more. More would be taking that back hand and sliding it toward the front corner of the seat of the chair. And then the shoulders come into play a little bit more. Not everything is for everyone, so be kind to yourself. But before we give this away, we're going to remove the block. So if you'll reach down, take it out of the way. And then take that outside leg and swing the entire leg out 45 degrees and plant it. Now feel very different through the foundation of your body. So I have a very comfortable angle, but I created a little bit of change. So that's what it looks like for me. Sitting tall, having a specific light action for each of the four limbs, and strengthening the muscles that allow us to turn comfortably. Turn your head and look behind you if you're comfortable with that. Turn your head and look in the other direction, any amount. Notice how the legs firm. And with the next exhalation, and to release, inhale to come out of the twist. Very nice, everyone. So we know where we're going now. We're going to place the block between the knees and swivel over to the other side. I'll join you all this way. So again, let's get tall. Turn. And using any part of the back of the chair to stay long in the body. All action in yoga is light. Keeping the legs light in their action. Good. And feeling good. Hopefully this feels good. When you're ready for change, take the back hand and slide it down. Create a little bit of a push and notice what it supports, right? It takes the load off. And then can we use it differently? Can we slide the hand across and find a little bit more twist in the upper rib cage? Legs did not change their position. We can turn the head over that shoulder. We can participate more in the twist. We can keep the head square with the shoulders to be kind to the muscles around the neck for anybody who needs that. And then we can turn the head opposite and just give ourselves something different. And you might notice a shift again through your core. The gaze of the eyes engage fascia in the body and it shifts what the core is doing. When you're ready for change, remove the block. Undo anything or adjust in any way, and then swing that outside leg 45 degrees out. Just feel your connections to the earth and to each other. So glad we're connected. Stay one more breath, and then inhaling to come out. Wonderful. So now we're going to incorporate the block and the strap. We're going to sit forward in our chair. And again, the props are optional. You can go through the imagery and find all of the actions within your body. I'm taking my strap, and it could be a belt or a scarf. I have a loop that doesn't give. And I'm going to slide my feet in this loop, and I'm going to slide it up. And then I'm going to place the block in between the knees. And my preference is to have the strap sort of encapsulate the block. So it's riding underneath the block, not just underneath the legs. And then we're gonna tighten it up just a little bit. So I want to feel as if I were to press my legs out, there is not losing the block. Okay, so you have enough. You're welcome to sit back in the chair if you feel like you've spent your energy, or stay more at the front of your chair to sort of peak your awareness building. My feet are hip width apart. Every summer in our Life Fit classes, I create a short list of summer homework. And this was our summer homework part. Okay? And it was to reset the pelvis, the sacroiliac spine, to just keep giving us freedom to walk and move and be out in the world in the summertime. And it goes like this. I want to press into the block with my legs, with my knees. And when I do, small action, I want to roll my weight to the outer edges of the feet. And it feels kind of strange to ask for those two things, but just bear with me. And so what happens is that it begins to tug away at a holding pattern from the inside of the pelvis. Then I want to press out into the strap with my legs, with the outer knee. And I want to roll the weight to the inner edges of my feet. You don't have to actually do it. It could be an internal action. And it changes what happens in the pelvic floor and the lower abdominals. We can feel it's so good for us. I want to press out into the strap. And when I do, the weight in my feet roll in. I want to squeeze the block, and the weight in my feet rolls out. So it's the opposite. And you'll start to notice that you might do simultaneous, like in, and then you can begin to, keep your mind on your body. My knees press in and my feet roll the weight out, light action. And when I first learned this from a physical therapist, I understood as you press out and you roll in, that if you were to think, if I was exerting 100% of my action, how can I pare it down and make it 25% of the intensity of what that could be? It's a light set of actions. So let's do that one more time. Keep using your breath and your mind on your body. When I press in, I roll the weight to the outer edges. Got all the ways you get out into the world. Right? Be who you are. Be with people. Raise the vibration. Then, when you press out, the weight rolls in. Changes everything. So I'm inviting us then to create a different binding as you relax. And maybe we'll keep taking that as our homework. It's very useful on the side of prevention and on the side of rehab therapeutically. So many of you know and enjoy legs in the chair. If that is your practice, I'm not going to teach it, but this is your time. If you'd like to get on the floor, put your legs in the chair. But what I am going to teach instead is putting the block ahead of us and sitting back and parking our heels on the block just to elevate. Remember, it's an option. But my strap is moving to the upper thighs, maybe closer to the fold of the hip. There are 4 particular places that if you create a bind, it begins to talk to different areas of the spine, and just the containment relaxes a different area in your body. It's a referred kind of relationship. I'm going to take the tail of the strap and continue and just bind the lower legs, maybe the top of the shins, depending on the size of your strap, the length of your strap, how far you get to go, and then tuck in the end. Tuck in the end. If anything is uncomfortable, please make your shifts. Go back to Shankha Mudra. We are with our thumb in the center of the palm, wrapping the fingers around the thumb, bringing the fingers of the other hand across the knuckles, bringing the tip of the thumb to the tip of the index finger. And my beautiful teacher, Indu Aurora, she taught us this recently. And the breath practice that goes with it is imagery, this Peace Mudra, connected to the expansiveness of who you are. As you drop your gaze, imagine the front of a conch shell, the pattern that unwinds and spirals inward. Focus on a very thin breath. And as you continue to take it in, don't be in a hurry and don't make it more than it has to be. It will build with practice. At the top of your breath, just pause and notice what you notice. And as you begin to expel the breath, keep it thin, slow, steady, at ease. Feel the energy shift. With practice, we are trying to elongate that breath, and we find ourselves needing a few normal breaths, so please do that. And then find Shakti Mudra with the other hand, with the other thumb. Just keep teaching it to your nervous system time and again each side. And as you look to it, see that beautiful shape, that heart. And again, let's begin trying to make the thread of our expansive inhalation even slower. As you take in this thread of the breath and imagine the shape, the spiral that you find at the center of the conch shell expanding. And as you pause at the top of your breath, what I hope you keep finding is the willingness of your body and your mind to continue to expand. As you begin this exhalation, this breath pattern teaches us hopefulness, a trust, a practice of presence, focusing the mind, reassurance of how breath is life and we are here with purpose, the patience that comes from hopefulness that comes from the patience of the practice. And then a few normal breaths to notice the residue of all of that when you consciously don't have an agenda. Relax your hands. As you reflect on this practice, may it carry you off your mat and into your Thanksgiving, then beyond. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you for your presence, your open mind. Namaste.